So one of the most exciting things about artificial intelligence is the possibility of using it to create realistic renderings without doing a whole lot of technical work. The problem is, up to this point, it hasn't worked. But something has changed that might change everything in the way that we create images using AI. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. Okay, so up to this point, the problem with any kind of AI rendering is the way that it changes your models when you try to render something. So say that I was to create a simple rendering using a simple prompt with SketchUp diffusion. The issue that you're going to run into is that it's going to make changes to your model in your image that make it basically unusable. And so the problem with tools like this is they significantly change the design, whether that's adding building elements or changing materials in a way that you didn't want them to be changed. It changes your design so much that it's really only useful for high-level ideation. And so other tools are just as bad for this. Like in Midjourney, for example, I uploaded this, and while it has really interesting iterations of the design, none of them actually match the design itself, so I can't use it as a useful tool. And so Google has just rolled out a tool called Nano Banana, which is basically, it's the next version of its Gemini image editor, and it does a much better job of remembering things across different images, giving you a lot more options. You can try it out for free, or you can actually use it for free by going to aistudio.google.com and using your Google account in order to sign in. And so in order to use this, what you can do is you can drag an image in and then give it instructions. So in this case, I'm going to use that same prompt as I did before, and I'm just going to add a note to include realistic shadows in the image. So I'm just going to tell this to generate a photorealistic rendering of the room. Settings should be a mountain cabin. Maintain the details of the room, including furniture, locations, and styles. Add realistic shadows to the image. Then I'm going to click on Run. What it's going to do is it's going to go through and it's going to add a background to this, and it's going to add some shadows. And so I get mixed results with this, because sometimes it does what I ask it to, sometimes it doesn't. Like in this case, it didn't add the shadows. So we're just going to tell it to add the shadows again. But notice how when it added the mountain background in here, it hasn't changed any of my geometry or my design, which is the most important thing to me, because now I can just come back in and like reprompt it, right? Like add realistic shadows to the image again, and it will go through and it'll add the shadows in here this time, but it's not changing everything else, meaning I can work with it. That's the most important thing to me. Okay, so now I want to take this image and I want to generate a nighttime render. So we're just going to give it a prompt that says, please generate a nighttime render of this model. Please make sure that the light fixtures actually cast light, and maintain the geometric detail of the rest of the model. So it'll go through and it'll actually render this as if it was nighttime. And so for me, this process is iterative, and it can be because this is maintaining all this geometry. So I can tell it to go in, make my image a little bit brighter, and it'll go in and make the image a little bit brighter. I can also ask it to replace the material on my fireplace with a brick material, and it'll go through and it'll do that. And if you ever don't like something that it does, you can just delete out the steps and go back to where you were before. So you can try different things, but because it's maintaining this geometry, there's really cool things you can do. One of the things I really like is I can go through and I can say, okay, take this material and apply it to the upholstered objects in the model. So what it'll do is it'll go through and it'll replace, and specifically I said the chairs this time, but I can tell it, okay, replace the fabric material on the chairs with this material, and it'll go through and do it without changing anything else in your model, which actually makes this a useful tool for me. And so because it's so good at maintaining details, it's also good for creating other things, right? So I can take an image of this building, and this is one of the Cliff of Brick models from the 3D warehouse from Mike Bristol, but I can tell this to create a sketch style drawing of this building. And then I can say maintain the geometric detail of the building itself. And I can run this. So you can see how it came in here and did exactly that, right? It took the building. It did a really good job of maintaining the details and creating this sketch style image of our building without changing it. And so I wanted to show you a fun application that I've seen a lot of people do with this. And this varies, by the way, like the results that you get vary a little bit, but you can tell this based on an image of a building. So this is just like an image that I took off of Google Maps is all that it is. It's just a street view image, but I took this image and I told it, okay, give me a CAD style elevation of this building. And it actually did it. Like there's a little bit of weird perspective in here that you don't necessarily need. But overall, if you look at this, like it matched the building with all the different windows, with this opening that's right here. It took this image and created this CAD style elevation of this with line weights really quickly. It got a little funky over here on the left-hand side because there's not a lot of detail, but it did a pretty good job of filling in the blanks there. So you can actually use this to create like elevation style images from perspective photos and things like that as well in a fairly accurate way, like at least accurate enough that it picks up all of the details, right? I haven't measured the proportions or anything like that, but it's a pretty impressive thing for it to do based on the information that I gave it. And so now let's really have a look at what this can do if we tried to put this into practice to create a better looking render. So let's say we were to take a perspective view. And so I'm going to start just by telling it to create a photorealistic model style rendering of a building, or in this case, this building. Please make it as if this is a photo of a real building. Maintain the geometric detail of the building itself. We're going to run this and it'll go through and it'll do that. And it'll do okay. But it won't do a fantastic job yet, but we're going to do some other things that are going to make this look really awesome. So right now we've got this whole thing kind of started. Well, now what I want to do is I want to add some context buildings. So we're just going to say, add context buildings around this one. One thing I've found important is making sure that you tell it to maintain the camera perspective and location of the building itself, because if you don't do that, what it'll do is it'll actually change the view of the building, but it does still maintain the geometry of the building, and it does a pretty good job of that. But we're going to add some context buildings around this. And so what this does is it goes through and it adds context buildings around the outside of this. Well, now what I want to do is I want to add sky, realistic lighting, and shadows. So I'm going to say add a sky, realistic lighting, and shadows right here. So we'll run this. And so this image looks significantly better than the last image right here. It's got some shadows cast across it, which is fine because of the next thing, which is going to blow your mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's make it a nighttime render. So we're going to say, let's make it a nighttime render. We're going to say the inside of the building should be lit up, as well as adding building lighting to our main model. And I always tell it, do not change the geometric detail of the model itself when I do this. So I'm going to run this, and this is going to change this from a daytime render to a nighttime render. But notice how it's keeping the same building in here. So it's not changing the building. And there might be like minor details that are getting changed. I haven't gone over this with like a microscope, but notice how this does a really good job doing that. And one thing I don't like is we're going to ask it to reduce the brightness of the sky in the background. So please change the sky so it's a nighttime sky. Don't change the rest of the model. So that looks a lot better. And the only other thing I want to do is I don't really like this blank space across the street. So I'm just going to say across, change the blank space across the street to a park with trees, paths, and people walking. Maintain all other geometric detail. And that's actually really interesting because it removed the road in front of the building, which I'm actually kind of okay with. I'm just going to say remove the 3 trees closest to the building. And we're going to run this. And one thing I would like to see about this in the future is the ability to like circle things to tell it what you're talking about. So in this case, I'm just going to tell it to remove the trees altogether, and then we'll add some smaller trees back in. And so in this case, we'll just remove the trees completely because they're blocking this. And you could play around with prompts in order to add them back in. But notice how when I removed the trees, it remembered what this building looked like over here. And it created like a really awesome render in here as like a nighttime render without me having to go through and set up a whole bunch of like lighting and things like that. It actually added people inside of these buildings, just a bunch of really cool stuff. Okay, and so just real quick, I wanted to give my opinion on this. So first off, this is a significantly better tool than a lot of the tools that I've tried in the past because it actually remembers what things are, which has been one of the biggest things for everyone that I've talked to about AI rendering. So this is a fascinating new development that I'll definitely be playing around with more. Do I think it replaces architectural visualization? No, but I think that it definitely changes it in the sense that, like, as I'm going through this process, I'm thinking about what would make this better. One of the things that would make it better is giving me the ability to actually like point out something in the render, circle it and be like, remove this tree, or change the fireplace and actually be able to like circle the fireplace so that it knows exactly what you're talking about. I'm sure we're probably getting pretty close to tools where you can do that, and being able to give it like a swatch of a material and say, hey, make the flooring this or something like that. I think that's definitely a possibility in the future, but it's not something that's here right now. And I'll be following this very closely, very interested to see where this is going to go. I do think that it is another tool that you can put in your tool bag. That's something that can help you generate great images. And I think this is actually a tool where the stuff that came before, I maybe would have put more in the toy category, if that makes sense. So I do think this is a significant development, but I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. What do you think about Nano Banana? Have you tried it? What do you think about AI rendering in general? I just love having that conversation with you guys. As new tools come out and new developments come out, I will try to stay on top of them because I do think it's important for us to stay educated on this. But as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.